You get the playbook thrown. All of the playbook is available right now, and guys are adjusting to that. So that could be why the defense is playing well, but that's as expected. I think that's why we got those guys over there.
How do you size up the quarterbacks so far? I mean, you're obviously catching passes from all these guys. What do you think of them? And I guess, what are your impressions of Case Keenum, a guy who you've seen around the league, but are catching passes from for the first time?
I think Haskins is young. He's doing well. They're finding ways to find him comfortable back there and letting his arm loose a little bit. I think Case is a good vet that we have. He's trying to find his leadership role as he's grasping the playbook. And you got Colt, who's been in the offense for a while. He knows the offense. He has really good leadership qualities, and I think that they have a healthy competition going on.
You're a guy who can run the whole route tree, but you run a lot of deep stuff. And as you're running that deep stuff and you're just running, you're not getting those targets, how do you kind of stay engaged running those 40, 50-yard routes so when you do get that pass, you're ready to make the play?
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of guys who catch, 10 and 12 passes and only have 70 yards. Then you got a guy who does run those routes and he catches one pass and he has 70 yards. So it's like you pick your poison. So you got to stay encouraged. You got to keep running because if he comes to you later on and you're discouraged or you're upset about not getting the ball, you're not going to be ready. So, I mean, we're human. We all want the ball as far as pass receivers, but you got to be ready regardless to who's back there, regardless to if you get the ball late in the fourth quarter or early in the first. You got to be ready when the ball comes.
Along the lines of the question about the different quarterbacks, as a receiver that's going to be getting as many passes as you, do you find it difficult with Jay rotating Colt and Case to get into a groove much because you're getting passes from two different guys on a pretty regular basis?
I don't think it's really difficult because just like the quarterbacks got to know their personnel, as we rotate tight ends, we rotate receivers and backs. We got to know our personnel, who's back there, what type of ball he's going to throw, when it's going to be delivered, its timing, and what he's looking for because they're looking for different things. So it's just part of being a professional. You got to know who's back there, and you got to be able to adjust.
And are you, just real quickly as a follow-up, after several days of camp, it's getting easier for each different guy to get ready for that guy to throw you the ball?
Yeah, I think it's getting easier for them, but I think the competition stays the same for them. I mean, they're trying to balance out reps. They're trying to keep it pretty equal. So I think their competition doesn't really change. I think that, but as far as grasping the playbook, yeah, it should be easier for them.
A speed guy, you have some knowledge that you can give to Terry. What have you talked to him about, and what have you seen from him so far through camp?
I just like his attitude every day, the way he approaches the game. We all got things that we're dealing with off the field, and we got things that we're dealing with, in as far as our receiver room, as far as the competition that's going on there. But just being a speed guy, he's learning that he can't run 100 miles per hour all the time. Some routes don't require that. And, him learning how to control the speed is going to help him at this level, especially if you're going to be in all game, all 4 quarters. You got to be able to deliver the illusion of speed, to a defender to get him to open up, to make your route running a little bit easier. And, he takes a lot from what I do, and he listens a lot. I mean, and then we have a 7th overall pick who's coaching him, Ike Hilliard. So I think that Terry's going to be great here.
Can you compete and mentor at the same time?
Yeah, I think it's easy for me. I think it is easy for me because I was a rookie before, and I went into a situation where, all 3 of those receivers had 3 months ago, had all scored in the Super Bowl, and I was the Seattle's first pick, so it was kind of weird. And I went into a situation where it was all competition. Nobody really introduced themselves to me. Nobody took me under their wing, so to speak. And I just wanted to be the guy who attached to the rookies. I wanted to be the guy who took them to go eat. I wanted to be the guy who, was willing to sit down and sit in the playbook with them, because I wish I would have had that. And, it's great. That's why we have good chemistry in our room. It's a competition going on, but you wouldn't think it because we all relate to each other well because we're open to it.
And then Paul, so Landon Collins had 2 interceptions the past 2 days. From a wide receiver perspective, what are the biggest things that you've seen from him and what he can provide for the secondary?
I've seen him do his job. I think that's why we paid him as much money as we did. I think, him making those plays is going to be good encouragement for our defense. I love it.
Just how about the offense in general? Guys healthy, you're back, Darius is back healthy, the competition, and then Jordan Reed having a great camp healthy. Would kind of take a step back and look at what you guys could be?
I think we could be, as productive as we allow ourselves to be. You have Jordan Reed, who is a tight end, but lines up at receiver and runs route like a receiver, has great speed. You got Geis coming back, who's he's a multi-down running back. He can catch passes out the backfield, which we've seen here at camp. He can make cuts. He can hit the hole. And you got CT, who does it all as well. I think we have a great group of guys. Offensively, I think we can be dynamic because I know we're going to run the ball. And then on the outside, man, we got guys who can make plays on the ball downfield. As long as we get the ball up and down, I think that we'll be, a balanced offense, but we'll be explosive as well. I like going deep. I like jumping over people. I like the crowd going crazy. And then, we got, arms back there that like to throw the ball. So we got to just find that chemistry downfield to be able to make those big plays, because it doesn't take much chemistry to be able to run the ball. But to run those play actions, we got to have that.
Paul, coaches are going to be able to challenge pass interference, offensive and defensive, this year. Is that going to affect you at all in terms of thinking about it more, or even lobbying Jay to say, hey, I was pushed on that play, or something to have an impact on that?
I think the rules changes. I mean, it's in the receiver's favor, honestly. I know receivers don't look for contact when we're running routes, so I don't think DBs should look for contact when they're defending routes. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think those foul calls are fair. As far as when the ball is in the air, I think it's 50-50. Everybody should be entitled to going for the ball. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I won't be like pushing Jay more as far as, to tell the refs to see different things. I think that as a deep route runner, man, we should either have a completion or a penalty anyway.
Did you learn anything about yourself, either physically or mentally, after the early shoulder injury and then ending up on IR last year?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned how much I love this game. I learned how much I knew our offense needed me. I think that's why I pushed through it so long. Before I played in those 7 games, my shoulder was already broken. My shoulder was already torn. So I think that I just wanted to show them what I was here for. I was here to bring a level of, some level of competition at a high level. I've been to the playoffs. I've been to the Super Bowl. I've played through injury. I've worked with guys who played through injury through playoffs and through Super Bowls. So I just wanted to play as long as I could without, hurting the offense and hurting our team. And then I didn't want to be hurt one season, push it too long, and then not be recovered from my surgery and be hurt for 2 seasons. That made no sense. So I think we timed it up well. I think it ended up working out.
You've talked about the wide receiver room. How have you felt about the DBs? Who has stood out to you defensively at this point in training camp?
I think that we have a lot of outstanding DBs. I like Jimmy. I like what he's come in and done. I like the way Jano is trying to lead. He plays unique. I like, he's one of those DBs in the league that actually come up and tackle. And then you got Quinn Dunbar, who made a name for himself. I love how Fabian Monroe's playing. I think our DBs are playing well. Like you said, Landon made 2 interceptions. He's doing what he's paid to do at safety. So, I like how that back end is looking, man. If you keep that back end tight-knit, whoever shakes out to be the starters in those positions, and with that front that we have, I think that will be very, very hard to move the ball on with our defense.
Back here. Sorry if you talked about this earlier. You got the first preseason game coming up. How important do you feel that is to you, having missed some time? Maybe you're going to have less time in this game. What about the other games? How is that going to be really important to you in getting back into game shape?
I think we practice at a good level. I mean, it's hard to imitate a game. Even preseason games are hard to imitate a regular season game because there's so many young people playing in the preseason. But I'm looking forward to it. Whatever reps I get, whatever chances I get, I think that it's going to be hard to imitate. I'm really looking forward to that opener against Philadelphia. I think that that'll be the big test for me. I've come back from an injury before, and I've been playing at this level for 6 years now. So I'm looking forward to the season. I think the preseason is good for these young guys to show what they can do. I think it's good for the offense to line up against another team and see how our bread and butter plays line up against future competition. So I'm looking forward to it across the board for all of us. Thank you.